What is up, YouTube? Back with another YouTube video, and today we're here with a guide on how to complete the APHELION'S Rest Legend Lost Sector. Now, in order to find this, first you want to go to your Destinations tab, go to the Dreaming City over here on the right, and you're going to want to spawn over here in APHELION. It's the only spawn, and if you're doing this the same day I am, you can see Petra's right here. Just spawn right next to her, and then go straight over here to our right. Now, when you make your way here, there is going to be a set of caves that there's going to be kind of like a location right here, as you can see. You're going to want to make your way right towards this, and then make your way towards the left over here, kind of through these cracks in the cave. And just make your way over towards the crystals over here. Then once you make your way through that, you are going to notice right here that you're going to be in the strand. When you make your way through the strand, you're going to go towards this tower, I guess you can call it, or just like this little structure over there to the right. And then this bridge right here. Just go towards the bridge. And then when you make your way over here, we're going to go to the right of the bridge. Now when you make your way over here, you should see a flag and the Lost Sector icon. And then if you don't see the flag or the icon over here on your map, that means you have to complete it normally. So what you got to do is actually go inside the Lost Sector. And then when you go inside, you are going to reach a point where it's going to say Lost Sector discovered if it's your first time. And then you're going to see some taken enemies spawn. So you can see right here, APHELION'S Rest. And then it's going to spawn in some taken enemies. Kill all the enemies, make your way towards the end, kill the boss, loot the chest at the end, and you'll unlock Legend and Master difficulty for this Lost Sector for the rest of the day until reset. But now we're going to make our way back over here. I just hit a loading zone, that's unfortunate. And we're going to go over the modifiers that we have for Legend difficulty. So you can see right here, getting into the modifiers, we have shielded foes, you'll face combatants with void shields, and you have legend modifiers, which are locked loadout and extra shields, equipment locked, limited revives, overloaded unstoppable champions, solar threat, 25% increase to incoming solar damage, epitaph, taking combatants generate blight geysers when defeated, overcharged weapons, weapon overcharges from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity, kinetic weapons do increased damage when your subclass element matches an active surge, stasis surge, 25% bonus to outgoing stasis damage, and then solar surge, 25% bonus to outgoing solar damage, then overcharged shotgun, 25% bonus to shotgun damage. And then for the rewards, this is new since the last time I made Lost Sector videos, but if completed solo, legendary weapons are uncommon, and if completed solo, exotic arms armor is rare and enhancement cores are uncommon. So you can see for recommended light levels 1830, but I'm 1825. Depending on your light level, you should be fine. I'd say like anything like 1820 and above, you should be fine. 1815 maybe, I don't know, but just try to be as high of a light level as you can. And to be honest, it's a pretty easy Lost Sector, so you should do this no problem. But before we get into it, let's go over the build, and then we'll get into the gameplay. So getting into the loadout, we're going to be running Solar subclass with Golden Gun Marksman. Then we have Gambler's Dodge, Triple Jump, Knife Trick, and Healing Grenades for the abilities. And then for our aspects, we have On Your Mark and Knock 'em Down. For the fragments over here, we have Ember of Ashes, Ember of Char, Ember of Solace, Ember of Torches, and Ember of Eruption. Now for the weapons, I have Riptide in the first slot. It's up to you whether or not you use Riptide. If you don't want to use Riptide, I do recommend at least a kinetic shotgun, because when you match the surge, in this case, whether it's Stasis or Solar subclass, whichever one you use, as long as it's matching, then your kinetic weapons will get increased damage. So then, you know, your shotgun will do increased damage, and then you pair that with overcharged shotgun, which gives it even more damage. That's something that you could look into using, but again, that's completely up to you. In my case, I just used Riptide, but the weapon I used the most throughout this was Polaris Lance, and this is, like I said, it's going to be my main weapon here. And the exotic trait is the Perfect Fifth. Precision hits return ammo to the mag. Landing 4 precision hits loads a delayed solar explosive round for your next shot. And then pairing this with the Dragonfly perk, precision kills create an elemental damage explosion. This is really good for getting rid of the red health bar enemies that are going to be there swarming you. They spawn a bunch, and at one point they're even like duplicating. So that's really good for ad clear, as well as for the unstoppable champions, which is the main reason I'm using it, because solar ignitions will stun the unstoppable champions. So just pretty much watch the gameplay to see how I use it. All you gotta do is hit crits, and then whenever you ignite them with the 5th shot and everything, you hit a bunch of crits. It's just gonna keep chaining it infinitely. So Just pay attention to that. But for the heavy, I'm running Apex Predator. If you don't have Apex Predator because of whatever reason, I know it's behind a raid and everything like that, you can just feel free to use any rocket launcher. For example, the Hothead is a good one you could use. I highly recommend a solar one at least. That way you can do increased damage. But if not, a Hothead would work. Just make sure you're using a rocket launcher because we're going to pair that for the Overload rocket launcher perk from the artifact mod that I'm going to show you in a little bit. But getting into the armor, I'm not going to go into super big detail because it's not really the hardest thing ever. For Celestial Nighthawk, this one is going to give Golden Gunfire's one high damage shot. And then just to show you right here, for Golden Gun Marksman, your Golden Gun deals massively increased precision damage and over-penetrates targets and create orbs of power on precision hits. The orbs of power we don't really care about, but we care about the over damage and everything like that. So that's where Celestial Nighthawk is also going to come into play and deal increased damage. We have hands-on and 2 solar siphon mods on the helmet. Then for the arms, we have solar loader and heavy-handed. Then we have solar damage resistant. We have 2 of those mods on and then charged up. Then we have stacks on stacks with 2 kinetic weapon surge mods. And then we have for the hunter cloak 2 bomber mods and 1 time dilation mod. Now I do want to note for the kinetic weapon surges, these are on because for Golden Gun, when you use it, it basically reads Golden Gun as a kinetic weapon for whatever reason, right? And people found out that if you use kinetic weapon surges, it actually does increase damage. Now, this can be considered overkill. It's just a Lost Sector boss. It's not really, 100% necessary. I'm pretty sure you could kill him just with regular Celestial Nighthawk without even needing, the kinetic weapon surges. But I was like, you know what? You might as well just throw it on and, just delete the boss instantly. You're going to see it in the gameplay. So just follow along if that's what you want to do, and you should get it done pretty much with no problem. But that's kind of the reasoning why there's 2 kinetic weapon surge mods there. Now, for the artifact mod, feel free to just copy it right here if that's what you want to do. But a little brief explanation. First row can be whatever you want. The second one, I do recommend Kindling Trigger and From Whence You Came 100%. Those 2 are the main ones that I would get from the second row. From the third row, Flint Striker as well as Wished Into Being, I definitely recommend. And then Overload Rocket Launcher from the fourth one, I highly recommend that one just because, like I said, we're going to use this to stun Overload champions. And then Raids of Precision and Solo Operative in the last slot. A good shout would be for Revitalizing Blast. This one is really good just because if you throw your melee at a champion or whatever, let's say, I don't know, you're getting pushed by the Unstoppable or whatever, this one would weaken it and, help you just do a little bit of extra damage, but it's not necessary. You're going to see with the loadout and everything you use in the gameplay, it's going to be pretty simple. So, with all that being said, let's just get straight into the gameplay.